Bye.
Bye.
Scintillas in the stream, hoping for what's true. I'm trawling for honor in this shallow pool. Borealis starlit crown arches over the Puget Sound. Berenice's hair drapes the horizon to Where is my lucky star tonight? The seventh sister of the Pleiades walks in beauty like the night. Oh, that is best, dark and now lost to me. Only trust in the northern star. That's the only point that's fixed. I once believed in love. Even love cannot bridge this rift. Where is my lucky star tonight? The seventh sister of the Pleiades, who walks in a beauty like the night. All that is best, dark and bright. Now lost to me. Now lost to me.
If you would like to hear Night Dreams Talk Radio on your local radio station, let them know. Tell them to check out www.nightdreamstalkradio.com, and thank you. Do you have a paranormal story you want to share on Night Dreams Talk Radio? You could be a guest. Email us at nightdreamstalkradio@gmail.com.
Good evening or morning, depending on your time zone. From the Pacific to the Atlantic to you worldwide. Get yourself a cup of Java and find a comfy, easy chair. And get ready for Gary and his guest on Night Dreams Talk Radio After Dark. And now, here's Gary.
And here I am. You're listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio After Dark. This is Gary, as Paul just said. Hey, make sure you check out our website at www.nightdreamstalkradio.com. It'll be updated this weekend. I tell you what, Christmas. Gee, we're going to have ours this Saturday. You know, somehow when the 25th comes, you know, because our family can't get together to the weekends because of where they live and they work and all this stuff. And you know, they have their own families and kids. And so they have their Christmas on the 25th. So, you know, it's really hard to sit there and look at all these packages and not want to open them up. And you have to wait. Of course, at my age, I know what it is. It's going to be T-shirts and underwear. And maybe some freaking candy again. I don't know. An aftershave lotion that I got a whole box of it put away in the closet going all the way back to, well, maybe late 80s, because I'm not going to say the brand of it, but you know, the one with the sailing ship on it. I just can't get it. And it's every year the same gift pack of the same three things: the deodorant, the cologne, and the aftershave. And I just can't stand the smell. But that's just me. But James, that's how Christmas is in our family. New Year's, I'm gonna get smashed. I'm a cheap drunk. I get drunk on one beer. So I'm a cheap drunk. I'm going to have my beer. I'm going to sit back, watch TV with the old lady or my wife, whatever you want to call her. Man, does she snore. I almost felt like putting up an audio clip of, I actually sent the clip off to somebody who makes music because they were looking for a snore, for a song. And I sent an audio clip to them. And I tell you what, my wife can make. Well, next to I have to compete. My son has two dogs. They're big dogs. These things weigh like 130 pounds, and they're only like 11 and a half months old, and they're going to even get even bigger. But my son sent me an audio clip of his one dog that snored, and it's so loud that it sounded like worse than a Kirby vacuum cleaner. But I compared it against my wife. My wife won out.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, anyway. So that's going to be interesting. And a snake stows away on a flight from Australia to New Zealand.
Wow.
A poisonous snake, under the undercarriage of the plane.
Snakes on a plane.
Yeah, but it didn't last very long because when it landed, that was the end of it. It was a short little trip.
I've often wondered how there's not snakes on Hawaii yet with just that reason alone. All it takes is one full of eggs, and there you go. You got families started to look at South Florida.
Oh, yeah. A message in a bottle brings families together for Christmas. A cross-continental friendship being celebrated on Christmas. From the United States to Newfoundland. All because a message in a bottle from a young girl's tragic accident. She wrote a little thing about how she got hurt, and it made its way.
Wonder how long ago she wrote the message, and it was in the ocean to get there. I wonder.
I don't know. A lot of times I've been hearing that some of these things take like 100 years before they're found.
Well, yeah. Remember the one you reported like last month? It was something like that, about 100 years old.
Oh, yeah. Well, a horse falls into a watery ditch, and was rescued by the British Fire Department. They had to use straps and a crane to hoist the poor little horse out of the canal.
Well, thank God they did that and not give it a breathalyzer when they got it out of the canal, I'll tell you.
Oh, you mean like that one sheriff's department or police department did, where they pulled over that donkey? That's getting a lot of airtime from us. But can you imagine, you're a patrol officer. You have nothing better to do than pull over a supposedly drunk donkey is walking on the side of the road and give it a intoxication test. I've never heard of a police department pulling over a donkey. Was it cited? I don't even know. But they went as far as to give it to a sobriety test. But that's only, in our country would do that.
Yeah, at least they didn't do that after they got him out of the ditch. They got him the poor horse help and stuff. That's some of the ridiculous stuff that some people do. Gary, if they didn't do it, they wouldn't make our newscast now, would they?
I don't know, but there isn't hardly any newscasts. You would think Christmas time would be a whole bunch of, wacky news. That'll probably pop in by tomorrow. But there's hardly any news, so hopefully you got something.
Yeah, give it a couple of days. You'll get all kind of stuff coming out. But I got a lot of different cryptid reports and stuff like that.
Let's hear some cryptic reports.
I can whip that on you. Give me a second here to pull one up.
Hey, I'm not that kinky. I don't want nothing whipped on me.
Okay, well, here's a recent one. At approximately 10:20 p.m. local time on December 6th. Now, I'm going to say this. A lot of these reports I get, a lot of people, they wait. They don't like to report them right away. It might be a month or 2 months, sometimes a year later. But anyway, this happened on December 6th of this year. The witness was called DR. He had left work at a cargo facility at O'Hare International Airport in Rosemont, Illinois. Now, DR turned left from Patton Drive onto West Higgins Road. After travel west for approximately 600 feet, he noticed a tall, dark entity with wings standing by the fence to his left. Now, according to DR, and on the map he provided, the entity was 100 feet or so from him. Now, DR noticed the strikingly red glowing eyes of this winged humanoid. He stated that he later found the previously reported incident also with another incident that was reported from O'Hara International Cargo Area, and he likened his sighting to the same entity sighting. But this time the red eyes were observed. Now, DR also said that he was shocked at the time and felt overwhelmingly sense of dread rush over him. And the witness seemed to be very credible and lucid. And that was one report that came in. And again, that area of the Rosemont, O'Hara, Illinois area is just, there's got to be something going on there. There are so many reports coming in, Gary, of humanoids, winged humanoids.
Well, it's strange because it's picked up drastically. Not just, UFOs, but cryptids has gone crazy. The amount of people contacting me on a daily basis saying that they saw a Mothman or they saw a Thunderbird or they saw, a Bigfoot or, unfortunately, we're not hearing anything about little people, if you know what I mean. But anyway, we're not getting those type of reports, but we're getting a lot about, even vampires and werewolves and stuff like that. It's really on a rise. And normally this time of year, because it's cold outside, you don't hear much about cryptids. You don't hear about these UFO reports that's going crazy. It is more than I've ever heard since 1976 when I got behind a microphone.
And, just from my area and my reports I get in from the cryptid reports, and I'm not talking about Bigfoot, I keep that in a separate category, but the cryptids are way up, the UFOs are way up. But even the Bigfoots within the last week have been spiking up. More reports of them been coming in, too.
Oh, yeah. It's interesting. Well, what else do you got for us?
Here's one, a large bipedal creature observed in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania. Okay, I felt like I was being watched, and I looked up and saw atop of a cliff in the trees a figure. Now, I had been where that figure was, and judging by where it was and all, this thing looked to be about 7 feet and a half tall. Now, I'm 6'2", and there was a branch a few inches above my head, and this branch was at this creature's chest. Its fur was dark brown, and I could tell by the way it moved, it definitely was something that was 7.5 feet tall. Its hips, knees, shoulders, and elbows, etc., bent in all the right places. So it clearly wasn't someone who was shorter in a costume. I'm not sure if it was someone in a costume or not, but I doubt it was very few people over 7 foot tall in the middle of nowhere at this time. So that was a sighting by a guy. He was doing a little fishing, looked across the way where he was earlier, and noticed this, 7.5 foot bipedal creature looking at him. Kind of similar to what you've seen one time when you weren't fishing.
Yeah, I wonder if he just sat there and looked at it, or did he just continue, doing his thing, or did he run like I did?
Yeah, it doesn't really say. There's not, that's all that came in about that. But, another thing I've noticed about a lot of these reports, even the ones I get, I would kind of mention it there a few minutes ago, a lot of people, they don't report them right away. Sometimes it's a month, 2 months, sometimes a year or years later before they ever say anything.
Well, you know why? Because they're scared of getting ridiculed.
Yeah.
Let's face it. If you go up to some people and you don't know them even your wife, and you go, hey, honey, that dent in the car was not created by me. It was done by a Bigfoot. They're going to look at you like you're crazy. So, a lot of people, they hold that stuff, in them and they don't say anything. And can you blame them?
No, I mean, seriously, you're right. Now, it has changed a little bit now compared to a few years ago. I've seen that, but even still, people are hesitant because, a couple of reports I've got just today and yesterday, that people even stated, they feared loss of their job or the community they live in being ridiculed. And, people can't afford to lose their job over telling the truth, basically.
Yeah, I know. And